Really
No
enjoy the
problem.
morning talks.
Oh, good. Good morning.
Have you gotten comfortable with navigating around Clubhouse, Taylor?
No, absolutely not. I do this one and one other one.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I
Takes a
haven't
little
done it
That's
while.
much.
smart. That's smart. We at the beginning we all got stuck with so many rooms, and then we just filtered them out and stick with the ones that that are more interested. So
Yeah,
glad that you
absolutely.
find that.
Taylor, could I ask you a favor? I would love to know how either you found the book or how the book found you. If you wouldn't mind just giving me a little bit of background, it's so helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Stephanie is a great friend of mine, and
Ah,
we have been guiding each other through healing processes of different parts of our life, I think. So,
oh,
I think we've
wonderful.
discovered that we were brought into each other's life to help each other heal different aspects. So she's the one who brought me along and kind of introduced me to Clubhouse as well as the book.
That's phenomenal. Stephanie is definitely like my soul sister too. So I get it 100%. That's wonderful.
Yes, she's absolutely amazing. So I really admire her, and it's just been a great journey having her.
Yeah, I bet. Do you have the book itself?
I do not, no, but I
Okay.
just downloaded the Audible. I have not had a chance to
Okay.
read the full book, but I did just download.
No big deal. It's out there for free. We've got some links to free versions of it. Pardon me. My dad and I read out of a purple one. There's a blue one. The purple one has about 2,000 pages in it, and it's got kind of all the extra details. So when you get ready to get it, you can let us know, and I can help guide you to the one that we're working on if you want.
Oh, perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. I'm actually going to read from Tom's book this morning for a little bit to get started. So Tom's up here on the stage with us. Tom Wakechild took the original book that was scribed by a woman named Helen Schucman, and he added some notes to it that I think makes it a lot easier when you're just closing your eyes and listening. And so I'm going to read through lesson 40, and then I'm going to read through some notes about it. Actually, I'm going to read through lesson 40. I'm going to do our meditation, and then I'm going to read through the notes about it. And I think that's going to put us in a great position for the day, and then we can talk about it, do whatever we want to do. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're all here. I am blessed as a son of God. I do want to take a minute and just address some of our terminology briefly. I won't do this too many times, but I can add this to our foundation recordings in our Facebook group. We're here at about 6:30 every morning. We're reading through A Course in Miracles, the workbook part. That's the middle part of the book. The book has 3 parts. There's a text, which we read through last year. There's the lessons, 365 of those in the middle. And then there's a manual for teachers at the end. And these lessons help us transform our mind and transform our thinking so that we can more readily accept God's guidance that comes through us because it's a part of us at a deep level. Our eyes betray us because they make us feel like we're separate from all brothers and sisters in the world. But really, this book is about bringing that unification back together and recalling that we're all on a thing the book refers to as the sonship. Sun is in the sun in the sky. All the light workers travel together on this sonship. And when I read this lesson in the morning, it starts out, I am blessed as a son of God. And in this case, they're literally talking about being a child of God. This was written in the 60s, and so there's still a lot of the male pronouns in here. Try not to let distract you too much. I think of it as the sun, S-U-N, instead of the S-O-N. And that takes away all the gender and all the stuff that today more of an issue than it was back then.
Unless you happen to be transgender, that's another discussion in another room.
They are fine. They are fine. All right. I'm reading directly from Jesus now. I'm blessed as a son of God. Today, we'll begin to assert some of the happy things to which you're entitled, being what you are, which is a holy child of God. No long practice periods are required today, but very frequent short ones are necessary. Once every 10 minutes would be highly desirable, and you're urged to attempt this schedule if you can adhere to this 10-minute schedule whenever possible. I'm highlighting a little bit so I've got my notes when I go back to do the meditation. If you forget, try again. If there are long interruptions, try again. Whenever you remember today, please try again. I am blessed as a child of God. You need not close your eyes for the exercise periods, although you will probably find it more helpful if you do. However, you may be in a number of situations during the day when closing your eyes would not be feasible. Do not miss a practice period because of this. You can practice quite well under any circumstances if you really want to. Today's exercises take little time and no effort. Repeat the idea for today that I am blessed as a child of God. Then add several of the attributes you associate with being a son or daughter of God, applying those attributes to yourself. One practice period might, for example, consist of the following. I am blessed as a son of God. I am happy, peaceful, loving, and contented. Another might take this form. I'm blessed as a daughter of God. I am calm, quiet, assured, and confident. If only a brief period is available, merely telling yourself that you are blessed as a child of God will do. Today's one of those days we got to tie a little string on our finger because it's going to happen so often. It would probably be pretty annoying to get an alert. But if you've got your alert app, now's a great time to set it up. So I'm going to turn mine on. I've got ACIM Remind, but you could also just set a
You know what?
10-minute schedule.
My
Go
app
ahead.
is saying that too many alerts. You have exceeded the iOS limit of 64 alerts.
Well,
I
it's
need
pretty
to adjust
amazing
that.
too.
I did that earlier. You can set. There's another button there,
Yeah.
and you can set 10, 8. If you stay at 10, you're okay, which is what they're suggesting. I went to 15 minutes between each one,
All right. Fantastic.
and I changed it to just a ping so that it doesn't take 2 minutes to hear it.
All right. Glad you're happy with that. That's
I'm
great.
happy.
Whatever it takes to get yourself your 10-minute reminder or 15-minute reminder or whatever. But get yourself some kind of reminder. Right now, let's take a minute and do it once. Okay? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Think I'm blessed as a child of God. Say it to yourself, son, daughter, however you refer to yourself. But I am blessed as a child of God. I am happy, peaceful, loving, and contented. Repeat that to yourself right now for a moment. I am blessed as a child of God. Here are the notes from A Course in Miracles Workbook for Dummies. I'm blessed as a son of God. To bless means that the other party makes no demands upon the receiver of the blessing. Only those who see themselves as whole or holy are able to do this. When you realize that you're already perfect, whole, and complete, you can give that same blessing to another party. Neither party will perceive that someone must lose or is required to make a payment for this gift received. This is an acknowledgement of the truth that you remain as God created you. There's nothing either party lacks in their core being. This lesson asks you to realize that you are actually God's beloved child with whom God is well pleased. And since like begets like, you're created in God's image and you're part of the mind of God. You are very holy and blessed by God, your source. Isn't it time to drop your ego's belief in limitation, lack, and separation and reclaim your divine birthright? Since blessed means that the giver of the blessing makes no demands on the receiver of the blessing, what demands does God make upon you, his child? I'll take that question first and then open it up to everybody else. I have had a hard time in my life seeing myself as blessed. I've been reading this book to try and figure out where I'm blessed and how I'm blessed and how I can let God work through me. And it has absolutely been a struggle. So much so that I've pursued it through many different thought processes and different ways of looking at things in different religions and different self-help groups and different self-help books and different self-help gurus. And I've walked on coals and I've jumped out of airplanes and I've scuba dived under the earth to figure out how that changed my perspective in various ways. And in the end, it's in the silence and the stillness that I get my revelations, that my eyes are opened in a whole new way to look inside. And so, does God make demands on me? No. I've been making demands on God my whole life, asking, pleading for direction and guidance. And in the silence, I can hear it. I'm asking so much that I don't shut up and listen enough. And I'm finally learning how to listen right. And with that, I turn it over to all of you. Thank you for being here. Please ask me to reread anything you need. But I'm so grateful you're being here. And I'll start out by saying, I know, Afnan, you had your vaccination today, and that was super scary. I hope it went okay and that you feel at peace. And anybody else who feels like coming up and sharing about Lesson 40 or anything else that's going on with A Course in Miracles in your life, I'd love to hear from you.
Well, good morning. Tom. Go, Tom.
Well, as I say, this is an important lesson from the standpoint that what the Course is really saying is that uh, you, as a child of God, have to be perfect, whole, and complete. And if God is only unconditional love, ultimately you must be that. And it's our own beliefs in lack, limitation, and separation that come out of our own mind that is our problem, and that God really demands nothing of us except us to take our time if we want to explore, but ultimately God has total faith that and knows that we're perfect, whole, and complete. And so this world of perception is just our play school that we want to get to experience and know how to ultimately, how an abstract can become specific and demonstrate love in form. And we're here to learn that. And one of the things that we need to realize is that the law of allowance says that no matter how qualified and deserving you are, which just by your birthright you are, you will never have the life that you desire and deserve until you can imagine that life for yourself and give yourself permission to have that. And if we come from this background that we're a sinner, that we have to do something to earn God's love or to earn a nice day, then that's our own limitation, and we need to correct that because God sees us as perfect, whole, and complete. But it's our belief in lack, limitation, separation, and if you want to call it sin, that is the problem. But that comes out of my own mind. So I need to accept my divine birthright. And when I do, then I don't need to make demands and have to earn someone's, some specific thing to get my reward. It's my entitlement. And so the Course is saying, this is the truth of what you really are. And by birthright, by who you were created by, you have that entitlement, and it's only you that can uh, prevent it. And that's why the law of allowance says that you need to be able to imagine that you are truly perfect, whole, and complete, that you are a son of God, beloved by God, God's perfect child. And then you need to give yourself permission, which means get rid of all that crap that says and that you've been taught that there's something wrong with you. You've always been, there's never been anything wrong with you, but there could be something wrong with my plan. And if I believe that I'm, uh, not perfect, if I believe that I'm born in original sin, I've got a bad plan. And so there's never been anything wrong with you, but there can be something radically wrong with our plan, and the fear-based thought system is the problem. We need to be aware of that, and since it comes out of our own mind, we have the power to change it. So, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Go ahead, Adriana.
No, thank you, Tom, for those. I mean, really, those questions for me are like gold because they always put my mind in other kind of perspective over the lesson. And I was thinking exactly that, yes, we are mostly, as Lee says, the ones that make demands upon God. And I know this is not God's doing, but it seems like the only thing that you need to let go and the only condition for you to accept this as a truth for yourself is lose the fear, lose that idea that we always have in our minds that we have to do something and that we have to save things by ourselves. So the demands that God make upon us, if I should ask, because I know that God doesn't make any demands, but it seems like the only demand that it's needed here is for you to lose the fear, because then you will find yourself doing amazing things and being guided. It's just amazing. The future always gives anxiety because you don't have control over it. So you stick in the present, trying to plan things and trying to figure things out and trying to work for a better day to come. When probably you're missing the point in the present of just being grateful and being here and being happy of whatever you have in your life. I had these beautiful days just ended yesterday. And of course, I was feeling a little bit sad because it means that I don't get to see this person each day, and it's really something that I enjoyed. But now I know that I need to keep reminding myself that I'm not in control of this, and that is God who is giving me these huge and beautiful and amazing opportunities. And now that I got to come back, I need to do that as well here, as long as I'm here. Because otherwise I will be putting my new holy relationship in a special relationship place. And we don't want that. We want just to be that blessed child of God that gets to have his gifts in every single day. So I woke up this morning feeling grateful, weird for being here, for being away from the one that I know that it's the one for me probably, but I know that I need to be here for higher reasons, and I don't get to have any anxiety about that. It feels weird, but it feels the right thing to do because it's not my doing. So I want to thank everybody here in the room because I have been like a little bit not that well, I just want to thank everybody here because you all have been part of this process, and this experience is really, really, really overwhelming in so many levels. And I just need to say to everybody that we truly need to have this like a day-to-day mindset in order for us to feel at ease and feel in peace. I've been trying to do that on each anomaly that I found in my life. Now I see it with other eyes, and it has helped me to find this adventure in my life, new adventures in my life, and brings joy. That's what they brings joy. So thank you, everybody. And that was my sharing for today. I know that this will probably sparkle some other thoughts, so I'm glad to be here to hear everybody because you are the parts of me that I thought I didn't have. So let's hear everybody.
Well, I want to jump in here. Adriana, you just said something so special. It was just the last few words, and you used a word that does not exist in the context. And normally I would say something, but I love the way you said it even better. You said that something you say would sparkle something in somebody else's mind. Well, spark is not used that way normally, but I think it should be. I love that. If you're going to say something that brings light to someone else, spark, at least I've never heard it used that way, and it's great. I love it. And I'm going to let you correct my English and improve it as well, because it makes so much sense to think of it as a sparkle than just to spark something. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. I think this lesson is
You're
very
splitting hairs,
important.
man.
Well, I know,
You're
but the word
splitting.
spark, I couldn't figure out a good way
I
of
heard it
saying
too.
how
She,
wonderful it was.
I can tell
That's
you,
all.
she sparked something in me, and it has
Yeah,
ignited something amazing. So I
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we don't need to
feel like
talk
she's
about
using
that
that word
normally,
yeah,
just
Judy.
right.
yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, well, moving on.
Good morning, Louisa. Or good afternoon, Louisa. How are you doing? Come on up and
Excuse me,
say
Lee.
something.
You don't have to actually. I did have something else I would like to
Oh,
say.
you did? Well, she
In
had raised her
addition,
hand. I
yes.
invited her up, and I thought you'd already shared everything that you really needed to share.
I didn't. What I really wanted to say, that was just a nice thing that I wanted to say to someone who has told me that she loves to have me help her with her English if something is appropriate. And I just wanted to tell her how terrific that use of the word sparkle. It makes sense, actually. It should be that way.
I totally agree with you, Dad. There's a
Moving
lot
on.
of times that she speaks English that makes a lot more sense than the English I speak. So I get it. I really do.
Okay. I know we did our best with you, Lee, but Okay, so what I really wanted to say, this workbook lesson 40, and I noticed before we got here, I was reading it, says that every 10 minutes. Um, it's something that we need to have hammered into us. And if you're going to hammer anything in, this is about as good as it gets. And the reason I say that is these lessons here, I mean, we read them, we understand where they come from, why we want to repeat them. But when all of a sudden it says every 10 minutes, that just puts up a flag and said, well, how am I going to get anything else done, and so on. But the real thing that's happening here is it's more of creating the new vision that we have talked about than seeing. You're not going to see that you're blessed as a son of God until a miracle comes around for you. And of course, there are more and more miracles that we have no idea are going on because we don't see them. But by repeating these, like this one, and picking some that we do repeat often, we are developing our vision. And the vision are these little statements here and there that really can help us see the vision that we would not be able to see with our eyes. So that was my point about why sometimes these lessons need to be repeated. I mean, if you think about the other side of that, we grow up and most people hear certain things more loudly than others because they're already predisposed to negative, I was going to say affirmations, but I think that's a contradiction in terms. But the point is, we need to be hearing good things about ourselves. And even if we're not getting it from the environment, we need to say it to ourselves so that we can always have it there to counteract something that comes up that is a negative comment. And in other words, ego throws something out. I got to change this guy. This person is really ridiculous. And I have to then, I've got something in me that I've repeated to myself. So it's more apt to come up. I am blessed as a son of God. And so is he. It kind of like the way you said before, Lee. So I just wanted to compliment you on that too. Thank you.
Oh, that sounds great. All right, who's next? Louisa, you had asked to come up. Was there something specific? And it's okay if there's not. All right, go ahead.
No, it's just that I was thinking about yesterday when I was in the airport. I had this weird encounter with a guy. I mean, I have been in so many airports and delays and waitings in restaurants, and I ever had a guy that approached to me and said, "Hey, how are you? I'm whatever. What are you doing? Do you want me to buy a drink for you?" And I was, what? This guy, I was hearing I was using my ear set, and he requested that I should take it off because he wanted to just say hi. And this guy, it really like make an impact in my mind because it was like, what is this weird thing that is happening here? I mean, I never experienced that in the past. And of course I felt weird. I felt like, what this guy wants right now. I mean, and it seemed, I cannot say if that's true or not, but it seems like the guy was a little bit drunk. But I don't know if he just approached me and say like, yeah, I'm here with my family and they all use those things. They never like get in contact. So I just came here and to talk to you. How are you? And do you want me to buy a drink for you? And I was drinking a lemonade and the lemonade was full. The glass was full. And I was saying, this guy is not seeing my moment. But he wanted to talk, and I felt scared. I felt like a little bit afraid. So I started to say, well, it's not that I wanted to be rude, but you see, I'm drinking this and I just have my meal and I'm full right now. So I really don't want to be rude, but I don't want any more right now. And he started like push the conversation in order to have more information. And I said to him, well, if there's your family, well, you should go with them and talk to them, because I'm really, it's not to be rude, but I want to hear what I'm hearing right now, because I'm taking the time as an opportunity to study. And he, well, yeah, and he went away. But I stick with this process in my mind, like, now that I'm a Course in Miracles student, I was thinking, what if I just dismiss God? I mean, what this guy had to say to me that made him like come to me, and well, I don't know, it's just that it's sticking with my mind. Like, there's so many times that we just dismiss people over fear, and we probably missed some part of like this gift, because every single person that we encounter in our lives have something nice that you can take out of a simple conversation, and I wasn't willing to have it. But then in the airplane, there was this lady next to me, and I don't know, I saw her, and I saw like parts of her face, because we are all wearing masks, and she seemed nice. And she watched me read my book, and she got curious, and I don't know what was the topic that sparked our conversation. But then she just connected with me with so many things, and we were talking about Mexico, how Mexico thinks, the people in Mexico thinks they are like tiny, but they are huge for the rest of South America. Well, things like that. We were having such a great like conversation, and then her name was Angela, or yeah, it was Angela. We were, okay, now this is the kind of connections that I'm looking for in people, that it's really attuned with the things that I am willing to experience now. So I stopped feeling bad about dismiss the other guy, because I really understand that when you have those experiences, it's not because your ego is taking over your mind and you're being rude or whatever. It's just because now you are in different tunes. So in other moment, probably, I don't know, like, I don't know if in any other situation I would have like a conversation with that guy. But it's funny, because the fear and the ego is not to be our enemy, but it's just a way for you to wave around and move around person, things, and situations, for you for you to maintain like the road that God is trying to put you on, right? So I guess I needed to share that, because God makes no demands about us, but we need to use the gift to be here in duality with all the things that we have within this very same body, in order for us to accept Him as the leader, as the guide, as the sparkle that puts us in contact with people that are in the same journey as us. So, well, I wanted to share that part of my experience yesterday. I guess it could be helpful.
Well, I just wanted to say, what I heard from you was that you actually, or what I believe happened there. Well, what I believe happened for me. Yeah, we tend to ignore, especially when we're coming into this perspective of love and love all. We tend to try to ignore our awareness of energy, and because we think that we might be blocking somebody out. However, I feel that it's very important for me to understand that I feel different energies coming from different people, and I feel that in your situation I have been in, not exactly, but I've been in a situation where I could feel the energy from the other person was a different intention, so we were not on the same wave. The words didn't even have to get exchanged yet to know the intention. It was there's a vibration and an energy that is felt, and it's the first language for me. And this woman, the other woman, did not have that same energy, so you could engage with that energy because that's the energy you were in. So there's sometimes we think, oh, I should be kind to everybody, but we're not being not kind. We're just not engaging in certain energies, and that's perfect, actually, because that's where we don't want to engage in something that's not of the heart anymore, the true soul. And so we're just choosing not to engage in that.
I would love to
Couldn't
add
agree with
something as well. Oh, go ahead, Bob.
No, it's all right. I love to hear you talk, Stephanie. It's
Oh.
that deep voice, deeper than mine even. It's just like you're way down there. Go for it.
Andy, something that you just said, Adriana, this is for you, babe. And I mean for everyone in the room. But this is a story that just came up when Adriana and Andy were speaking. The first thing I want to say is if they weren't near or on our vibration, we wouldn't have seen them. That's the first thing I would introduce. And so, Adriana, there's a reason you saw that man. And so here's my story. There's a man that's drowning in the ocean. He calls out, "God, help me." And a boat comes by. And the boat goes, "Come on in. I'm here to save you." And he goes, "No, no, no. I'm waiting for God." And then an airplane comes by, or let's say a helicopter, I think it was, and he throws the line down and he goes, "Here, I'm here to save you." And he goes, "No, no, I'm waiting for God." And he finally drowns. And when he gets to heaven, he goes, "God, I called your name. Why didn't you help me?" And he goes, "I did. I sent you 2 people, but you didn't recognize that they were me." And Adriana, when I was listening to your story, it sounded like kind of what you and Andy were talking about the other day, when you get pulled out of your daydream and you get interrupted. And it sounds like God did that to you, and it didn't appear the way that you expected it. And so you ignored it. And later, he sent someone that had a name, that was doing something that would be familiar to you, that is a little bit more familiar to you, so you accepted it. I don't know if that makes sense. But in the whole conversation we're talking about today, and I've said this before, everything that God shows us appears fake at first.
It's
Right?
amazing that you said that because I stick with that situation in my mind, and I was talking to Lee about it. It's just weird. I mean, when something sticks in my mind, it's because there's something that I haven't been seeing about it. And Lee told me like, well, there's sometimes that things are not meant to be that profound. Maybe just the guy wants to have some kind of interaction with you, but yeah, there's something about you said, Stephanie, that I really feel it happened yesterday. Because now that you said that, I'm remembering that his main complaint, oh my God, I'm getting here now the information. I mean, his main complaint when he approached me was that his family was too like drawn away with the ear sets. They were all like being too, yeah, how do you say when you are so
Distracted?
distracted, yeah, too drawn into these devices. And then the women, yeah, it's just that it has to do with something about connection. I mean, it seems, now I'm getting it, it seems that the message between these 2 persons that I met yesterday, like randomly, had a connection in terms of me being too
Yes, you're right. Let it connect. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
just that it seems that I've been said that I'm being told that I need to disconnect a little bit from my devices and do another kind of connection. It's just because of the conversation that I held with the women in the airplane, that her name was Angela, and the main complaint this guy had, I'm making now because of your comment, like the connection of the points, because energy is there. I mean, God is there, the God is in everything that you can see, but you don't get the experience of God because you're always putting barriers. So you need to find yourself some kind of activity, whether it's meditation, whether it's whatever, to find that kind of experience. And internet is like that. I mean, internet, that's why we get so drawn to this kind of platform, because internet, you cannot taste it, you cannot know how it looks like, you cannot know if it has smell, but they connect us. I mean, internet connects everybody. So probably instead of having all these God experiences through our devices, we also need to have another kind of experience of God by connecting each other through nature, to meditation. And it's not because this kind of connection is bad or not, it's just that I'm connecting the dots yesterday because I really had in my mind for several days that I need to start to meditate more, and I haven't been able to do it because I'm distracted with other things. So thank you, Stephanie, because you gave me my connections from yesterday's experiences. Thank you very much.
Of course. Just today, as you're going throughout today, everyone, when you are looking for God, don't look for what you already know. Go in and be curious, because that's where you grow.
Beautiful, Stephanie. Thank you. You're definitely
Yeah,
right.
I'd just like to add, one of the things that we're here to learn is to discern for ourselves where we want to place our attention. And just because something comes into your life or bumps into you, you still have to discern whether or not you wish to place your attention on that. Uh, we don't know how the big picture unfolds, but you know, we have to be here. And if a serial killer comes into my life, or I bump into it, that doesn't necessarily mean that I need to, if the serial killer says, why don't we go out someplace? It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to do that because God's trying to tell me. God may be trying to tell, we don't understand the big picture, know the big picture. We need to go within, ask our inner guide, what do I feel about this situation? And then follow that guidance, as opposed to just say, if this person comes into my life, he has to have some meaning. I have to go and follow that person. So just be aware that one of the things that we're here to do is to uh, discern where we wish to place our attention, our energy, and that is a choice, and it's a free choice that you can make, and that just because someone bumps into you, that doesn't mean necessarily that you're required to respond. One of the things that the course will really say, if you're perfect, whole, and complete, and if the other person is perfect, whole, and complete, I need do nothing. I just need to go in and ask what love would have me do, and it may be that, and in regards to what would love have me do, that's always going to be contingent on my level of fear. If I uh, have a belief that I am the body, or that I need this body to continue to have learning lessons, uh, I may opt to do something different. We're always trying to minimize our fear, but we have the choice as to where we wish to place our attention. And the law of exposure says that what you expose your mind to or your attention to, that's what you're going to start seeing. One of the things, that they said in here, I am blessed as a son of God. And they said, say that every 10 minutes. And Bob had said that, 10 minutes seems a lot, but uh, it takes, according to, psychologists, it takes 10 positives to offset one negative. We tend to think it's 1-1. No, 10 positives offset one negative. So, saying this 10 times is, you have to do 10 to just take care of the one negative that you hear, that there's something wrong with you in a given day, just to offset it. Okay, well, thank you.
I'm just going to say one little thing here. To me, what happened is that Adriana felt fear. That was the first thing she said. And in my way of looking at these kinds of things, if I feel fear, that means I want to be in a different environment than the environment that brought on the fear in me. So she reacted in the perfect way, as to politely try and extricate herself from this pending relationship that this guy was trying to establish, and eventually she figured out how to do it. If we spend too much time analyzing everything, it can go, we can go nuts. And we like to do that in this room because we do look at it from many different points of view. To me, life is lived in the emotions that we experience more than anything else. If she felt fear, it's time to leave the environment that's bringing that on. And you can invoke God, which is exactly what she did. It's exactly what she did. She just told the truth.
Hello.
She's, I'm full. So that was just my thought.
Hi,
Go,
Louisa. Go ahead.
Luisa.
Hi, good morning. I don't know if you can hear me because I'm outside and
Yeah,
there's a
we
lot
can
of
hear you.
wind.
You sound
Great.
great.
So I want to tell you a little story, short story. First, I am blessed as a daughter of God, and I'm blessed of I'm now walking in forest just next to my house. So I'm very blessed for that. And every time I read the chords and do the exercises, I
You're breaking up,
feel
Luisa.
this urge to go and really live. Don't hear me.
No, I think so. You feel the urge, and there was just a blank for a moment, but maybe we didn't. You feel an urge too? Oh, bummer.
Lost in the forest.
Oh, bummer. I know she'll come back, and I bet we'll be able to get the story from her.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay. Louisa, we will hold you in the light, and I know you'll be back. Hey, Dr. Natalie, go ahead.
I read a wonderful quote by a gentleman you may have heard of, but I'm going to say it. I want to read because this is what I had to apply to.
Yes.
You see what you expect, and you expect what you invite. Your perception is the result of your invitation coming to you as you sent for it. Whose manifestation would you see? So, dealing with manifestations of fear or not seeing myself blessed, it's almost as if I have to invite the blessing. You get what I'm saying? I had to apply that
Yes.
ahead of time because, yes, I was, and I'll share. Let me give you this tiny tidbit about me. And of course, that comes from the great Tom. That's the book. The So that's a quote from Tom's book that I'm reading. Okay, so the deal is this. Um, I got into A Course of Miracles back in 2014 when I was deep in the religious circle. Me and my husband pastored churches. I mean, deeply into it. I'm talking about we
Mm-hmm.
were almost as staunch as the Pharisees in the Bible.
Wow.
Staunch. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I begin to explore. I begin to quest. There has to be more than this crap. Has to be. Has to be. So I started searching, searching, searching. And I came across a course of miracles and I got ostracized. I mean, that's new age. You're getting into, I knew you were a witch because of holistic medicine. I mean, I got persecuted for the book that I hadn't even read yet.
Oh man. Oh
I
man.
didn't read it. I did not read it because I was scared I was going to pick up demons or something, by reading one chapter. So, up until just I'm only on chapter 11, guys. Okay, reading it through. I just started. And I had to overcome the fear and realize I am blessed being out of organized religion. I no longer identify as Christian. I rejoice over that. That's a blessing. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I love the Lord. You get what I'm saying? But the deal is, in order for me
Yes.
to see myself as blessed, see myself as not what people say, and really embrace everything that this is teaching me, this lesson in life, I had to do what Tom said in the book. I have to invite and welcome this. I have to invite how I judge people based on them judging me, not to attack. Um, so I applied that principle, and I think that's in chapter 11 that I'm reading right now, so that I can realize I am blessed. I am blessed beyond measure because I've embraced that eternal. I'm just giving you some of the things that I've,
That's right. You're bulletproof. You're bulletproof. Yeah.
Yeah, you've come out
so
of doctrination.
Oh my gosh. And yes, it hurt. Yes, I'm walking in a new, and it's scary because that little family that I had. But then look at the family I have now. So look at how I changed I see you guys. You're my sisters. You're my brother. We're a family. I didn't lose anything. But if I didn't invite the new mindset, the unknown, and get to the point to where, well, whatever, if I do get in this, I just had to talk myself and invite the mysteriousness, the
I
Yeah, but
hear
you
the
know what?
mystic,
You
blessing.
didn't.
the
The the
mysticness of God. Yes. And
the blessing I
um
hear is that if you didn't feel fear, you don't have a chance to be brave.
yeah.
And you can't go into the dark forest and be brave as a guide for others if you don't take that chance. But people don't want to go outside their comfort zone. And when you
Mhm.
bring your flock to the edge of that forest and you go off into the forest to make sure everything's okay, you know, the sheep are going to be nervous. You did
Mhm.
exactly what you needed to do as a leader, though. You took
Mhm.
care of them. It's so wonderful,
Mhm.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that blessing with us.
Right.
I would like to say something too about that. Those sheep are watching you. They're watching to see if what happens to you. So you didn't actually lose anything. It may feel like you lost a connection to them, but you're still connected. You can never lose anything. We know
You're
that
coming
we've
back with a
learned that.
brighter light.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
brighter
learned that.
light.
And yeah, they're watching you to see if you get hurt. So they're
And
going
of
to see
course, you're
you
going to
did
come
not get
back.
hurt.
You're going to come back in a blaze
Yeah.
of glory.
Amen.
Right. I'm not flying on brooms yet, so we're good.
And brooms are okay too. But you know what this is making me think of though? I I was thinking about this like when I don't know who mentioned it because you know what we're also inspired by each other, right? It just who knows it makes me realize there was never a beginning and there's never an end because it's just continuum. It just constantly God is always no beginning and no end, and that's what inspiration is, right? And it just we don't know where it came from, but it came from somewhere um in our awareness and was oh, I know who it was Adriana that made me think of this little sparkle. So yeah, it was about the future and being afraid, and of course we're afraid of the future because there's something in us that knows. There's something about that fear is keeping us from going, trying to have that illusion of the future, actually, which is actually very helpful because if we go into that illusion, then we are out of control. we're completely out of control, because there is no control in that, because there is no such thing as the future. So we're only in control of the moment and in our perceptions. So there's no fear in the moment when you're truly in the moment either. So thanks. I'll yield.
Oh, you hear me now? Yeah.
Perfectly, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, great. I found a beautiful spot. Yeah, you might hear some birds. So I wanted to share a short story. I don't know if maybe some of you know it already. I don't know if I shared that with Adriana, but I see that. Yeah. So when my son was born, he was lazy to drink. I was producing milk, but he didn't want to drink directly from me. So it was a huge frustration, and I felt angry and sad and disconnected in a way. But then I found other ways to connect with him, and I was always asking God, like, why is he not drinking? And I have to to use these stupid well, not stupid, but these useful pumps, to sorry for the image, but that's the way I had to do it from the first month. When they called me, so when my son was 1 month old, they called me to tell me that my mom was dying, that I had to fly to fly to Colombia and stay with her for the last month. And I stayed with her. So my baby was 1 month old, and then I went to share the last month of my mom. And she was very, very, very sick, and she was even too weak to die. And then it was this palliative nurse who told me, well, we use as a palliative way to help people to even get that latest strength to live. We give them mother milk. And I see you are breastfeeding, and so that's a call for you, because
Wow.
my mom was asking me to give her more morphine, because she said, I cannot stand this anymore, please just put me to sleep. And I said, please don't ask me that, I cannot do that. And the nurse said, well, we do that, it's a natural way, and the milk is going to give her the strength she needs to take that impulse and leave.
Oh
And
my goodness.
Wow.
then I realized, then
Wow.
I knew why God, because I had everything with me. I was already trained to do that. I had the pump, I had the whole thing, and it makes so perfect sense. And I felt blessed, and I said to my mom,
Oh my
would you
gosh.
agree? Yes,
I'm
sorry, it's a
sorry, but
very
this is a
traumatic story.
very, it's
It's
actually,
incredible.
no, it's incredible. Like, listen, I have chills. It's hard to give me chills. Okay. I have
Yeah,
chills from the toes to the head. I'm sorry. I had to intervene. Holy crap.
It's
Keep going,
beautiful.
please.
Thank you so
yeah.
much, Louisa. It's
So
beautiful.
my mother said, I love the idea, because we're going to close the circle. You are going to give me the first thing I gave you. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I always,
Oh, no,
No,
it's so good.
no,
Don't
we
be
were picking
sorry,
up
but
on
I'm
it. We were
crying.
all,
I'm
it's so
crying
beautiful.
now, Luisa. It's
yeah,
It's
beautiful.
I know.
wonderful.
Yeah. So she said, the only thing I ask you is, please don't tell me you're giving me that. The moment you just give me something, you don't tell me what it is, and I will be happy.
I know.
And
You can
so
make ice cream.
I went, and I had this ritual that I was having for the last 2 months. Um, I did it as a ritual, because then I decided to connect with my son on that way as well. I said, if he's not drinking from me, I'm going to do it as a ritual, so he feels the love when I am pumping myself.
Oh, it's
I felt like
beautiful.
a cow. Anyway,
Oh,
so I did it, and I put all the love into that act, and I put even Reiki. I am Reiki master, so I gave Reiki to that milk, and I went to her, and she said, she couldn't even sit down, so we put her to sit, and I gave it to her, and she waited 10 minutes, and then she started to look behind me, like some
Oh man, what a bad time for that
Oh
to happen.
no.
But she'll
Something
come
was
back.
behind, and I started to look behind me, and I
Maybe
said, "What happened?"
Louisa,
And
we
she
didn't
said,
hear you. Went your internet kind of. Can you please repeat the last? I
"Oh,
don't know,
When
2
she
minutes
looked
or a
behind her.
minute. Yeah, she looked
so
behind her.
she looked behind me, like if someone was standing behind."
Must not be something we're supposed to hear in this exact moment.
Oh my goodness
Oh my
gracious.
goodness,
And I,
Louisa, can you hear us? We
yeah,
didn't hear it again for
yes,
some
yes,
reason,
yes.
but we're
Okay,
waiting for the next moment here. We're all on our edge of our seat because it's like,
I'm so
no, don't
sorry.
be sorry, please.
Okay, so she looked behind, like if someone was there, and then she pointed with the mouth, like someone was there. She was pointing someone, and then I said, "What is it? Who is there?" And she said, I'm going tonight. They came for me. They came to pick me up today. I'm going tonight." And I just gave that milk to her. And that evening, the same evening, at 10 in the evening, she just started to breathe smoothly, because she was breathing very difficult with difficulties. And then she started to really relax and get into her breath. And I gave her Reiki, and I said, "Just go. You're ready to go." And she left. And at that moment, I felt that I was blessed by being her daughter, and
And
she
you
was
are
blessed by
blessing
having
us
me.
with
You're
that story,
blessing
Luisa.
us.
It's
Oh my God,
beautiful.
she is. Like Louisa, listen, you
Mm.
just blew our minds, like to the point of like, why have the mind right now? This is so spirit. Like, yes, Adriana, the reason I keep speaking up is because I'm having an experience with you all right now, and I want you to know what an experience. Like, it's hard to bring me to my knees, but this did.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that with you, because it's a since then, ever since then, I felt I signed a pact with her. Like, it's to call it, but it's like I helped her to go in the most beautiful way. And as she said, we close the circle.
And I think that you'll go in the most beautiful way too, and now I will too. Honest to goodness, you just helped us all go in the most beautiful way, for real. There was something there that was gonna, oh yes, this has impacted me to the point of I will be spreading this story. I know it. This is something I'm going to be thinking about all day, and I'm going to be speaking on this. This story is, oh my goodness, thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you. I'm going to write it anyway.
please do. Holy macaroni.
Her
We've all
entire
learned.
life is full of gifts. She's like this Swiss knife of experiences. She
Yeah, I
should
have.
have. Yeah,
I
it's
have some
amazing.
stories.
I'm crying. I'm crying right now with
Yeah.
your story.
And you know what?
Welcome to the
Here's the
miracle,
thing.
everybody.
Yeah, there was a miracle, absolute, holy instant for real. And you know what? Here's the thing. When you said, I totally understood that people can be too weak to die. We make a choice to quit the body. Is my perception here. After all I've been seeing in death with my mother and my the things that I've seen, and how they can wait for us to get to, because I was out of town when she was initiating her death. Well, when she was really putting it in acceleration, let's put it that way. And I was out of town, and she waited for me. For her to even wait for me, and then when we brought her. Anyway, I see that it's about quitting the body, and now you show me that it's about having the strength to even quit. And we will suffer longer. We suffer longer if we don't have the strength and the courage to even live. So to live and to die, probably being of the same fabric, of course, but you opened me to this point of even thinking about having not being too weak and not have the courageous to move forward in something out of fear. Fear is just stalling us in our suffering. However, it has to be there at times, because that's what it's. I don't think that it's bad. I just think that it's a process, but I just see the process, and I feel that I can move past things now with that. Some things that I really don't need to understand anymore now.
And the end part of the story is that my son started to drink from me from that time.
And you know what?
Oh,
I knew the end,
wow.
and we probably all knew the end.
We all
You know
knew the
that.
end. We all knew there was a happy ending, and
Absolutely
everybody
knew the
went
end.
and grew. So, welcome to the miracle, everybody. And you all get to share it. And the stories that we share literally change the topography of our minds physically. So, Luisa's story has now become a part of all of us, something that we can all draw upon and all know as an example of how God works through us to both let people go and bring people closer in exactly the way that God knows
Oh
what
my
to
God,
do.
let people go and bring people closer. That is such an insight. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're playing the parts of the shepherd. We're playing the parts of the sheep. We are all one. And so we're all being a part of this growth consciousness together. And just by being here, you're sharing yourself with me, and I'm with you. And I am super blessed that you're all here. David, Sean, you guys want to share anything? Trish? Afnan, I'd love to hear from you if you want to tell.
So, Grand
You're welcome.
Rising, League. Good
Hey,
morning,
David.
everyone.
Yes,
Glad
sir.
to be here. I
Good
won't be able to
morning,
stay for too
David.
long, but I got to go to work today. Hey, bless you, bless you.
Morning,
Good
morning,
morning,
David.
good morning. Wonderful to see all y'all wonderful, beautiful, shining faces. Today I'm have to go out and do a little work today. But Lee, yesterday you had posted or
Yeah,
uploaded the Excel file, and I
the
didn't get a
rainbow
chance to
map.
download it. Could you upload that again?
You know what, David? I will invite you into a little group so that you can share it with us. It's really more Adriana's than it is mine, and so I will let her share it with you. If you wouldn't mind, just maybe sending Adriana your email address. I'm sure she'd be happy to send it over to you. It's something that I think we've got a real a real snowball worth of information to kind of be able to pass on, and I'd love your feedback.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to take a look at it and give some feedback on it. I look forward to that. And Andriana, I'll go ahead and back channel you with my email address. Thank you.
And Louisa, thank you. She sent me a couple of pictures of this beautiful path that she's walking in. So I'm just going to take a second to describe it. You guys can all picture this beautiful green field. There's some wintertime trees with no leaves on them and a beautiful cloud-covered sky, but huge, big fields with a tan path walking along the side of it on the edge of the forest. It's a beautiful winter day. It's a beautiful winter day here too. I've got no clouds in my sky and sun streaming in. But today, for our lesson 40, I am blessed as a child of God. Try and set up a way to remind yourself about every 10 minutes or so that you are blessed as a child of God. Think about how Louisa was able to bless her mother and her son at the same time, with the same act, with the same blessing, with the same mother's milk that sustained us all when we got here. What a beautiful blessing. What an amazing miracle. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, wow. People are going to hear this, so it wasn't just going to happen in this room. It's blessing everybody, absolutely, besides this room.
Miracles are catching, and miracles are catching on. It's as we all know here, it's the natural way to do things, and Louisa was doing everything she could to do in a natural way, and having the miracles and seeing the interconnectivities of all these kinds of things is the extra enjoyment we get because we're taking a course in miracles. We're learning about the whole nature of it. And even if that had happened without, if what had happened had just happened and she hadn't mentioned it to anyone else. And it might have been she wouldn't have mentioned it because she was embarrassed up front, beforehand, and so on. But she did. She was able to do it here and share it as a miracle. We all picked up immediately that it was a miracle. Some of us felt some kind of energy go through us. That's what makes this room special, because we are experiencing miracles. We're sharing those miracles, how they happened, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable. So why not start your day off with something enjoyable? And
All
by the
right.
way, Lee said he read it as I am blessed as a child of God, which is fine. But if this kind of stuff keeps up, we're going to have to just go to I am blessed as a daughter of God, and we'll have to handle it for a while instead of the other way around.
I'm happy to read it that way. It's a piece of cake. I think the easiest and most gender neutral way at this point is easily we are all children of God. Nobody's going to argue that they're not a child at some point and at some level still. Lesson 40. I'm blessed as a child of God. Today we will begin to assert some of the happy things to which you are entitled. Being what you are. No longer practice periods are required, but very frequent short ones are necessary. Once every 10 minutes would be highly desirable, and you're urged to attempt this and to adhere to this frequency whenever possible. If you forget, try again. If there are long interruptions, try again. If your dad leaves his mute button open, try again. You need not close your eyes for the exercise periods, although you will probably find it more helpful if you do. However, you may be in a number of situations during the day when closing your eyes would not be appropriate. Don't miss a practice period because of this. You can practice quite well under almost any circumstance if you really want to. Today's exercises take little time and no effort at all. Repeat today's idea. Then add several of the attributes that you associate with being a child of God. Apply these to yourself. One practice period might, for example, consist of the following. I am blessed as a daughter of God. I'm happy, peaceful, loving.
Is that me or Lee missed his?
And confident. If only a brief period is available, merely telling yourself that you are blessed as a son or daughter of God will do. Take this with you. Write it down on a piece of paper for yourself. I am blessed as a son or a daughter of God, or child of God, if that works for you. But write down, I am blessed as a child of God for yourself, so that you can remind yourself every couple of minutes. If I could, I would come right around and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, don't forget, you're blessed as a child of God all day long. So when you feel a little tap on your shoulder, you can imagine it's one of us from this room. We're supporting you. We're helping you remember. You can use your phone to help you remember, whatever you need. But as a child of God, you deserve to remember this so that you can have the blessings that you deserve. I hope everybody has a blessed day today. I love you all.
You know what I've learned is that being blessed by God is like waking up and seeing the sunshine in your face. But there are also times where truth is offered up and it doesn't always feel good, but that's still God working in my life, and that I should be grateful for the truth, not only of his love, but what he shows me.
What a way to end this session, Sean. Thank you for that beautiful thing you just said. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I'm gonna leave for now the room as well, and I send to all of you a huge, big hug. All the love that I can send in this form for all of you to have a beautiful day and a blessed one, and that you can meet God in everything and in every circumstance that you're having today. So, love you, everybody, and thank you for being here. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye,
See
Adriana.
you.
I like Sean's perspective. He does always carry a point of view a little bit higher than most of us. My son is laughing at that, of course, because Sean, I always forget, but you're about 6'8", 6'10", something like that, 7'4".
I don't know. Every time he walks through a doorway, he hits his head though, so he gets a little taller. Lump growing up there.
Well, it's just my proximity to angels is a little closer.
Yes, it is,
Whoa,
brother. Yes, it is.
I love it. I love it.
Especially when I get in this room with you all. Haha.
You did it. Good job, Sean Dog. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll be here tomorrow at 6:30 like we were this morning, working on lesson 41. So today, remember, you're blessed as a child of God, and have a fantastic day, everybody.
And I will be doing it every 10 minutes. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Create a great day. Namaste.
Namaste.